Easterseals, and we have Pietro Bonacossa. Close enough?
Yes.
Okay. And you're the VP of Development of the Easterseals. First of all, thank you very much for being here. You guys do very, very important work. So let's talk a little bit about your background, where you went to your terminal degree, all right, where that was. And then the next question is going to be, why Easterseals?
So thank you first, Michael, for inviting us, for having us here, giving us an opportunity to share the work we do at Easterseals. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm from Colombia. I moved here in 2003. I graduated from psychology back in Colombia. I completed my master's here in mental health counseling at Nova. And I joined Easterseals in 2010. It was a career move because I wanted it to be in a bigger organization, perhaps with opportunities for professional growth. And I think the minute I stepped into Easterseals, I understood that it was my mission to be there and that I had a greater purpose than I thought initially I had.
That's wonderful. And Pietro, why did you join Easterseals?
I joined Easterseals a little over 3 years ago, and I work in philanthropy development. And I'm a firm believer that when you're passionate about a cause, a charity, that making a case for support is natural. And I feel very passionate about the work of Easterseals because I see the impact firsthand.
Wonderful. So, were you the first woman to be head up Easterseals?
No, there have been many other women before me, but
you were
I was the first Hispanic.
So, all that in a perfect world, that shouldn't matter, but it does matter because there's little girls that are out there saying, "Do I have a chance?" Especially in America when so many people look like me, right? And then there's lots of people that look different colors, different shapes, and everything. So, what was that like for you when you got this job and you realized, "Gee, I'm the first Hispanic woman to do this"?
I think it gives me an opportunity to, what you just said, to show others what's possible when you are determined. And I think that there's no limit when you really want to make an impact in the lives of others, especially in social services. There's no limit. So anything that you can put your mind into, you can accomplish.
Let's talk about the type of work that Easterseals does, and the percentage of the population of Miami-Dade County, perhaps the state or the United States, that are affected by the services you provide.
Sure. So Easterseals provides services for individuals with disabilities and special needs from birth to about 104 years old. We provide advocacy, education, support, and direct services so that they can live, learn, and work in their own communities. We have three pillar programs. We have special education services where we provide early intervention, a private school K through 12, and vocational and independent living instruction for young adults. We also have three adult daycare centers for seniors with memory impairments, Alzheimer's and dementia mostly. And we run 6 Head Start centers for families who are economically disadvantaged in Miami-Dade.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
I feel your passion. So, Pietro, what are some of the projects you've been working on and some of the ones you will be working on?
So we are a very active organization. We always like to say that we accomplish a lot with limited resources, and we're so proud of that. We are very forward facing, community facing. We do a lot of outreach. We have 3 signature events, one that we're preparing for, and our events are there to really showcase the work that we do, the impact, and also bring new friends and supporters towards our mission.
Mm-hmm. So I was reading about the number of people you have on staff. I want to hear the number so I don't repeat something that's incorrect.
So we have currently 253 staff members. Most of them are direct care staff. Easterseals spends 92 cents of every dollar in direct care services. So you can compare the amount of administrative staff is very little.
That's a lot of staff people. And you're running that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she says I'm pretty proud of it.
And I think we are also proud of the fact that we can honestly say that everybody who works at Easterseals truly cares about the work. Super passionate about the mission and the impact, and it's palatable.
So do you go to people or do they come to you? How does that work?
So the clients are referred to us by various funding sources. We have partnerships with the Alliance for Aging. We also work with Early Steps and Miami-Dade County Public Schools to bring those clients that need our services. but we do outreach as well. So we go to doctors' offices, we go to the people's houses to recruit children, perhaps for our Head Start program. But I think that what we want to make sure that we do and we continue doing in the community is raise awareness that we exist and that we are able to close the gap in services for those families that need it.
So Pietro, you're on. How old is Easterseals?
Over 80 years old.
Yep.
We are a federated model. We oversee South Florida, which is Miami-Dade and Broward. But Easterseals is a national organization that's been around for over 100 years. So a lot of people are familiar with the work.
From the get-go, I started hearing that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because when people come to visit us, and that happens every day we have visitors, people want to spend time with us, whether they want to volunteer or take a tour. Once they get to know the work, it's really incredible what they leave with, the impression of the impact that we provide through the community. So it's exciting.
And I know that you're also passionate about it. I can feel that because you see the difference that you're making.
Yes.
So let's look forward next couple of years. So what are some projects that the Easterseals are going to be involved with, and some that you're particularly proud of?
I'm very proud of something that's coming up very soon. We are going to be part of a beautiful project coming up in downtown. It's called the Children's Village at Lotus House. We are going to be operating a brand new child development center for children that have special needs, disabilities, and other special circumstances that are 3 to 5 year olds. So those are going to be free services for the Overtown community and any surrounding neighborhoods. We're very, very happy to be joining other organizations in the community that are going to be co-locating with us and providing services, wraparound services for the entire family unit. So that's a beautiful project coming up.
Okay, does Easterseals have a residential program at all?
We don't here in South Florida. Other Easterseals affiliates have residential programming, but we don't here in Florida.
So I don't know if we're just a little more tuned into what is going on in the mental health arena. But it seems as though you're getting a lot more publicity about that and about the challenges that are facing before we would just ignore it or look the other way. So tell us about the importance of people knowing about these things.
Well, I think it's important for society. I think it's incumbent upon society to have a place for people with special needs and disabilities where they feel seen, valued, actualized, and appreciated. So that's our charge. That is why we do the work that we do. There is a significant percentage of the population that is neurodivergent, that needs support of services or wraparound services, and we want to be the solution provider because there is a place in society for everyone to contribute and feel and achieve quality of life outcomes.
Yeah, and if I may add, Michael, I think it's important to remind people that disability cannot always be seen. So when we talk about mental health challenges, and perhaps we need to do a much better job in our communities to demystify mental illness and make sure that people who have the need for additional services, accommodations, or just additional resources are able to do so without shame.
And as far as mental health, when Michael Phelps 10 years ago said, when I need a break, this is where I go. Simone Biles is another one where I need to take off time for my mental health. 20 years ago, all right, and I used to work at Jackson Institute in the 70s, that would you realize it was sort of taboo. Don't bring it up, crazy Joe, don't worry about it. But what we realize is that even first responders, big hulky guys, and there was an example of the former director who tried to kill himself. And here he is, this big, beautiful guy, right, big job, running for office, and he had some stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And there was a fireman recently, less than a year ago, top level, killed himself.
Yeah.
And so, although it's not exactly that, it's a conversation about what do we do when we're not feeling well. So part of the question that I have for you is, so you got young kids, all right, and you're watching the kids grow up, as Candy Spikes did, and she, at 17 and a half months, her twins stopped talking. And up to that point, the stress that must be on the parents about how to handle this and the desire for every parent has for their kids to be interdependent, to be able to grow, and to be able to succeed. What support is there for the parents who all of a sudden go, I got this problem, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So I love the question because it's what we see every day. And it's the struggle of the families navigating a system that's very scary while they are also processing their own feelings and emotions of perhaps grieving their typical child. So what we do for families like that is that we walk them through the entire process of getting that child evaluated, getting the child diagnosed, making sure that we're providing all the support services and connecting them with those community providers that perhaps offer the services that we don't. We don't leave them alone because we understand that it's our duty to make sure that those caregivers are well taken care of so that they can take care of their loved ones.
And Pietro, so there's siblings and grandparents and uncles and aunts who are intimately involved in it and suffering similar trauma. So tell us about that.
And these are what we call grateful families. These are people who have a direct or indirect connection to the work that we do. And so we engage them as friends. We um, try to bring them in as volunteers and supporters because they see firsthand the impact and the difference that the work that we do has made in their life. So they're personally touched by the work.
So tell us about on the Coffee on Wheels program that we sort of touched on. So tell us about that.
So as Pietro say, that's my brainchild. We came up with the idea of, okay, our teachers love coffee. We're all looking for coffee every day at the office. And we have a culinary arts program where our students need opportunities to interact with customers and work on additional culinary skills that perhaps they are not able to do in their regular classroom work. So we came up with the idea to create the coffee cart as a mobile classroom where we teach entrepreneurship and customer service skills. And we have seen a lot of our students just flourish by participating in the program.
So when there's this break in there of food and everybody sort of gets relaxed, a little bit different environment, they get along better. When you have an event coming up soon. Oh, there she is on cue. Way to go. Way to go, Emily. So why don't we put that back up on the screen so people can see that? So tell us about that.
So excited about it. It's called Festival of Chefs. It's the 35th edition. It's Miami's longest um, serving culinary event. It is a culinary showcase of the work that we do. We invite chefs from all walks of life to participate. The event directly benefits our culinary arts program, which is a vocational training program that we offer at Easterseals. It's a wonderful time, September 25th at Jungle Island. So it's a tasting event with lots of bells and whistles, lots of opportunities for engagement. We invite friends and supporters for a night out, and they get to taste culinary delights prepared from chefs from all walks of life. And we also invite our students to participate with their own activation, their own food station. It's a lot of fun.
And so arrive hungry.
Yes.
You will be invited because it is truly an event with a heart. There are a lot of events around the event season that we're coming up on. It's in September. It's a way to celebrate and kick off the season by really getting people to become acquainted to the work that we do. So there'll be a lot of special moments for everybody to enjoy.
And so people can go to your website. Here's another flyer that's up there right now. That's the one we're talking about. And it's what is it? Sign, savor, and celebrate.
Sip, savor, and celebrate. That's kind of our slogan. But the Festival of Chefs, everybody knows about it. Everybody wants to come. We're going to have celebrities. We're going to have influencers. We're going to have people just having a good time for a good cause. And there'll be a lot of mission moments that we'll reveal throughout the event. It's truly an extraordinary event. But more than anything, it raises 100% of the proceeds of the event go back to Easterseals, but specifically to our culinary arts high school program, which, as I mentioned, is a vocational training program. So it's also an opportunity for chefs who participate to get to know our students, and for our students to be exposed to potential opportunities for professional development.
So let's talk about that. So culinary school, is that offered by Easterseals at the facility or
yes.
something?
So it's part of our high school program. So the students that are enrolled from 9th through 12th grade have the opportunity to prepare the meals for all the students in the school. So they are responsible in an industrial size kitchen along with our chef instructor to prepare 140 meals per day. So, and that's 3 times because it's breakfast, lunch, and snack for every single student in the school.
That must
prepared
be
from
neat for them
scratch.
to get in that environment and think, how do we handle all that food? I go to the local restaurant and I go, how do they get all our plates out at the same time?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about how people want to be served. So let's talk a little bit about some very special moments that you've had. There's some big successes, right? That you'd like to share.
So aside from the coffee cart, which I think it's very dear to my heart, of course, and especially because I have seen the miracles happening with the students, how they flourish after participating. I've seen other cases like, and I'm gonna say his name just because he is one of our very own graduate students who happens to be a staff member and has been a staff member for about 8 years. But it's a Stewart. He graduated the culinary arts program and has been employed with Easterseals in a food preparation program that we have with the federal government. And he has been there, I want to say 8 or 9 years, every single day without missing. He's the most responsible employee we have. He comes on the 1st of January to my office to give me his entire schedule for vacation for the year. He makes sure he reminds me coming up, remember, I'm going to be out next week. Who's going to cover for me? And these are the tasks that this person is going to do. So he's the perfect employee. If you think about it, I think all of us want more people like Stewart in our team.
By the way, that's one of the things we also realized. It was just like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In advance. Right?
Absolutely.
And it's wonderful. So let's talk about work that you do in Broward. That's a refresh my memory. This is just for Dade County.
Correct.
And
But
the
we also have an adult daycare center in Broward.
Okay.
We have services at Southwest Focal Point in the city of Pembroke Pines, and we serve approximately 60 seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia at the center as well.
So let's talk about the frequency of diagnosis, even if it's not diagnosed per se. But tell us about that, how it's changed over the last 10 years, with you over 3 years, 10. Would you like to comment on that, Pietro?
Well, I think certainly the rates are increasing across all types of disabilities, and the need is increasing. And I think to your earlier question, some of the biggest impact that we see is in the stories and the testimonials that we receive. There's a long waiting list for those services that we provide. And when we hear the stories and of hope is what we call them, where students, for example, or graduates are placed in job opportunities, that's a huge accomplishment. And when seniors in our older adult program, in an adult daycare program, achieve milestones like turning 100, 101, and 102, that speaks to the quality of life outcomes that we want them to receive. But definitely the rates are increasing. The need is extraordinary.
So do you think that more people are coming forth with their children that aren't as shy about it? Or do you think they're just aware of, hey, there's something wrong with my son or my daughter?
I think both. There is definitely more awareness with the community, with peers, maybe with even the physicians that are now more aware of those red flags, especially in children. But definitely when a family is seeing something different in their child, I invite them to seek help immediately from a friend, from organizations like Easterseals, and from their pediatrician. There's got to be always, I always tell parents, just follow your gut feeling, because that's what primarily brings children to our doors.
And there is help that you can provide for the children, for the family, so that you're aware of it and be able to help that child at an early age starting to thrive. And then I look at Candy's experience, the shock that she must have been in, where 17 months the kids are perfect, and all of a sudden it stopped. Yeah. And she tells the story publicly. She had a big job. Husband had a big job, big house. He left. She's there with the kids. She said, my total mission in life is to prepare those kids for adulthood.
Right.
That's it. Her life completely changed to take care of these kids.
Right.
I had the pleasure of meeting a young lady yesterday who adopted somebody that was on the spectrum. I've forgotten her name. And when I see that there's a lot of people that care, that the parents need to know that there are other people that care too. So how do you explain to the public that there's services that are available and there's a lot of support?
So I think that one of the premises that we have at Easter Seals is that we provide caregiver support and relief at all ages. So if you think about it, the children that are here at that are with us at the centers are with us for 8 to 10 hours per day. What happens then is that the families are able to com- fulfill their lives and go to work and do their things knowing that their loved one is taken care of. And we do the same with the seniors. If the seniors are able to continue living with their loved ones at home, but being taken care of for the entire day, then their caregiver is able to continue working and able to continue caring for their mom or dad until their very end of their lives without having the need for institutionalization, decreasing the cost of nursing home placement, which is ultimately a big toll on our society.
And so often the caregivers that finally have to say, I can't do it anymore, and then they have to deal with the feelings. All right, I'm giving him or her to somebody else. I'm not going to see him as often. Maybe they're not going to do well. So certainly there's a lot of grieving that goes on with that. So Pietro, let me ask you, if you could push a magic button and you say, here's something that I would like to happen with the Easterseals, what would it be?
Definitely more funding and support is key, because we can achieve so many more milestones, and we can serve more people with the support of our community. So we're very big believers in partnerships. Ultimately, a lot of families come to us because of our reputation and the quality of our services. So the quality is there. Our staff is incredibly well trained, very passionate about the work, but the work that we do needs to be scalable, and it needs to be um, far reaching. And the way we do that is by mobilizing support and also creating more partnerships. We're always in need of more staff, more space, more resources, because trust me, the need is out there. The statistics are increasing, and people come to us because they hear through word of mouth about the impact and the quality. But the quality needs to be scalable. And that would be my biggest wish, if I could press that magic button.
And that we serve all families regardless of their ability to pay. So it's our responsibility to raise funds to close that gap.
Okay, Madam President, how about you? Magic button. What do you want to see happen?
I want to make sure that every single family that may need our services is aware that we are there for them.
An incredible thing I mentioned earlier, I used to be a registered nurse at Jackson Memorial Hospital, went to school there. I'm afraid to say what year it was. Emily over there is going to go, what? What? And I spent time working in the Institute. It was really eye-opening for me. Those are people that are mostly psychotic patients. And it was really eye-opening for me, where you can be there with somebody and not know until they start acting out. So when parents come to you and they talk about their kids starting to act out, and as they're explaining it to you, what are you going through and watching them expressing themselves?
We have seen so many different dynamics, and perhaps in my previous roles within the organization, I saw a lot more of that, the family dynamic when they first come to seek our services. And then I think when they finally break that barrier and start trusting the process, they understand that we are there for them, that we're not judgmental in any sort of way, that we understand that every family struggles differently and every family embraces their condition differently. And we, without judgment, we help them along the way. So if it's a family that, as you just mentioned, a lot of our families are single parent households, and that's fine. We know how hard it is. So we break the barriers and we continue walking with the families along the way.
Thank you for that. And you mentioned earlier you want to make sure that the children can perform and that they're happy and they participate. It sounds like the things that we all want.
Absolutely. We all want to have a meaningful place in society. We all want to contribute to the economic engine. And I think, regardless of what our abilities are, and I think each of us has unique abilities, we really believe that society, that people in the community, employers should play into those strengths and should create opportunities where those strengths can shine, and those young adults can contribute and feel that they have a home away from home. What we don't want is for our participants, our students, to graduate and go back to a home environment where they sit on the couch. That is not the work that we do. We want them to grow older and achieve the best possible quality of life outcomes. And there is a place for all of us in our community, and we're just so passionate about that.
One of the things when I was talking to some folks from the South Dade regional, the playhouses down south, he said, if somebody wants to be in entertainment and acting, they don't have to be the actor. They could be making the clothing for it. They could be handling the cameras. They could be sweeping the floors, but they just want to be around it. So there's a place for everybody. Just got to find the right place for them. So I know people have helped you along your way. Perhaps you have some mentors that you'd like to talk about, and maybe they're with us or they're not. So this is the time we get to look right into the camera right over here. If we put the camera on Camila, that would be good, right? So talk if you're talking to them.
So yes, definitely mentors along the way. And I can think of two very, very important people. In my professional career has been Lorene Chan. She's the current president and CEO of the Health Foundation South Florida, former president and CEO of Easterseals. Big, big mentor of mine. So thank you, Lorene. And definitely Michael Alessandri, Dr. Michael Alessandri, an incredible champion of autism in our community and worldwide. And he has been just an absolute champion of my work and gives me purpose every day to just look what he's doing and keep going.
Thank you for that. So he's with the University of Miami under the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. So people can look him up if they need to have conversations.
Absolutely.
We were fortunate to have Victor, have him in, have the good doctor in for that. And the same question for you, kind sir.
Absolutely. So when I also moved to Miami in 2003, and a mentor of mine who took me under his wing right away, he was the founding dean of the FIU Law School. His name is Leonard Strickman. He is good people, and we always say, be a kind friend. That is who he was. These are our mentors. These are people who become friends of ours, people who care about our progress. They take an interest in us, and they are proud of our success. So thank you.
So we're going to wrap it up. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything. We have 45 seconds.
I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity again to share the mission of Easterseals, to make sure that nobody that needs our services is unaware that we exist.
Pietro?
We want you to come visit us and really show how much we appreciate the work that you all do here and helping to raise awareness about our mission. So you're going to be receiving an invitation. We'd love to have you. And thank you so much for your interest, because without this platform, we wouldn't really be able to get the word out. And I think with this platform, more and more people hear about us, and they can also become supporters, however they want to support.
Okay. And all you business people out there, take out your checkbook and credit card, go to easterseals.com/South Florida. Right?
Yes.
Make a donation.
Yes.
Make a donation, all right?
And come visit us for Festival of Chefs. It's going to be a fun event, a fun night out, and you'll get to support our students.
Be a kind friend.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
My pleasure, Camila.
Thank you.
Pietro, thank you so much.
We're so honored.
Okay, we're going to look, our pleasure. Folks, remember,